Hola, soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. Bienvenido a mi canal si es la primera vez. Welcome to my channel if it's the first time, and if not, también bienvenido otra vez. Welcome again. So, estamos en el subjuntivo todavía. Estamos haciendo el subjuntivo. Estamos en el libro Break the Language Barrier Level 4. Si tienes el libro, si no tienes el libro, da igual. If you haven't got the book, it doesn't matter. Puedes seguir el tutorial. You can follow the tutorial with or without the book. But if you have the book, we are on página 15, page 15. Y mira, if you haven't seen the ones, the videos leading up to this, because we're progressing through the different times when you use a subjunctive. So, although you don't need the book to do to get something out of the tutorial, you do really would be a good idea to look through the other videos first, especially the first one about the subjunctive, because that tells us how to make it. So I'm not going to go into in this video how we form the subjunctive. I am just going to look at the next time that we use it. So on page 15, we're looking at uncompleted action. This is a time when we use the subjunctive, and as always, it's the second part of the clause that uses the subjunctive. The expressions we're going to look at, they trigger the subjunctive. So this is talking about something that hasn't happened yet. Yeah, it's not something that's happened, it's something that might happen. Or, you know, the subjunctive is always something a little bit, what's the word, ethereal, that it's not quite happened yet, or it's something that it might, maybe, possibly, those kind of things. So if you don't have the Break the Language Barrier book and you'd like to buy it, it's currently on offer at $4.99 on any Amazon site. Oh, and I do have some here at the centre. I have plenty in if you live locally and you wanted to pick one up from here. Okay, so let's look first at practice A. These are the phrases or expressions that trigger the subjunctive in the second part of the sentence. So we've got a menos que, which is unless, more or less. Antes de que, before. Now, there are ways you can avoid the subjunctive here. If you just say antes de, for example, if you're saying before, if you want to say before you leave, you need the subjunctive. And it'd be antes de que salgas. But you can avoid using the subjunctive, which I did for many years, well, 2 anyway, by saying antes de salir, before leaving, and not putting not before you leave, and actually making it, once you put it in a person, then you have to say antes de que salgas. But you can avoid it by using the infinitive and just saying antes de salir. And the difference in that is the first one is before you leave, and the second one is before leaving. So you can avoid using the subjunctive. Not that we want to, of course. We want to use the subjunctive, of course we do. Number 3, con tal que. That's as long as, I suppose, as long as you know. Yeah, con tal que sepas. Yeah. Cuando, of course, we know the word cuando, which is when. Now, we don't need it when we're talking about when we do things, like when I'm on holiday, I go to the beach. You don't need the subjunctive there. That's something you do when you're on holiday. When you need the subjunctive is if I was to say to you, when you leave, or when you know. So these are things that haven't happened yet. They're not regular routines that we do. Cuando sepas, when you know. Cuando salgas, when you leave. So that's not the same as saying when I am on holiday, I go to the beach. That's a routine. That's something that I do. The subjunctive, of course, is more for things that are going to happen in the future, or might happen, or will, even if they will happen, but they've not happened yet. Okay, number 5, después de que, that's a bit like antes. Después, of course, is after. And again, if you can avoid it by saying after leaving, después de salir. But if you want to say after you leave, you need después de que salgas. Okay, number 6, en caso de que, in case. Hasta que, until you leave, until you go. Yeah. Mientras que, while. Para que, in order that. Sin que, unless that. And tan pronto como, as soon as. Okay, so let's look. Obviously, those are all make a bit more sense, hopefully, when we look at some examples. So we're going into practice B. I'll read it in Spanish and then I'll tell you what it means in English. Te llamaré tan pronto como llegue. I will ring you as soon as I arrive. No iremos a menos que vayas tú. So we won't go unless you go. Estudio mucho en caso de que haya un examen. So I study a lot in case there's an exam. 4. Trabajo para que podamos comer. I work so that we can eat. Número 5. Tocará el piano con tal de que cantéis vosotros. So he or she, I suppose, will play the piano as long as you lot sing. Viviré aquí hasta que tenga otra casa. I will live here until I have another house. Número 7. Estudiamos el subjuntivo para que lo entendamos mejor. So we study the subjunctive so that we will understand it better. José prepara la comida, la ensalada. I must get some glasses. La ensalada mientras que yo haga la paella. So Jose prepares the salad while I prepare the paella. I make the paella. Número 9. No comeré la paella sin que la comas tú también. Yeah, I won't eat the paella unless you eat it as well. Número 10. Cuando podáis, traedme los papeles. So when you can, bring me the papers. Número 11. Nos vamos a casa después de que nos traigan la cuenta. So we'll go home as soon as, after they bring us the bill. Okay, so that's those examples. In practice C, ahora tenemos frases o oraciones en inglés para traducir en español. So, I won't eat until I'm hungry. No comeré hasta que tenga hambre. I have written you a note so that you remember to buy milk. Te he escrito una nota para que acuerdas comprar leche. You can all see te acuerdas, because if you use acordarse, it's reflexive, or you can use recordar, para que recuerdes comprar leche. Número 3, you will feel better after you take the medicine. So, te sentirás mejor después de que tomes la medicina. Número 4, he won't marry a woman unless she is rich. No casará con una mujer sin que sea rica. Well, then you're thinking, oh, ser or estar. Of course, to be rich is ser. Número 5, I'll dry the dishes while you wash them. So, not me secaré, no, because it's not reflexive. Secaré los platos mientras que tú los laves. Or friegues, because it's a diphthong. Yeah, let's stick with lavar because it's easier. Mientras tú los laves. Número 6, I'll believe it when I see it. Lo creo cuando lo vea. Número 7, we will ring him again in case he forgets. Lo llamaremos otra vez en caso que se olvide. Número 8, they won't buy anything unless it's cheap. No comprarán nada al menos que sea barato. So cheap, expensive, always say. Número 9, every day she takes a tablet so she doesn't get ill. Cada día toma una pastilla para que no se enferme. Número 10. You must brush your teeth before we go to the dentist. So, debes cepillarte los dientes antes de que nos vayamos al dentista. Número 11. You can't help him until he changes his life. No le puedes ayudar hasta que cambie su vida. Número 12. Can you do this homework when you have the time? Puedes hacer estos deberes cuando tengas el tiempo. Número 13. They don't go to the doctors without they make, or unless, I think it might be better in English, unless they make an appointment first. So no van al médico or al centro de salud sin que hagan una cita primero. 14. She will close the door after she enters the room. Cerrará la puerta después de que entre en la habitación. Número 15. We will speak lots of Spanish as soon as we understand the subjunctive. So, hablaremos mucho español tan pronto como entendamos el subjuntivo. Vale. I hope you understand it okay. I know it's complicated, the subjunctive, but as I keep saying, it's just something we have to at least have some knowledge of and know that it exists, even if we never, not never, but it takes some time to actually get to grips properly with it. Okay, so we're looking at practice D, a short translation, and all the subjunctive verbs are in italics. So, vamos a ver. I'm just going to read it in Spanish, as I normally do, but I will put the English in the description. David promete que me llame. David promete que me llama tan pronto de que llegue allí. Sin embargo, probablemente solo llamará cuando no esté ocupado. So this is estar, to be busy. Con el trabajo. Pienso que me dirá todo cuando llegue a casa. No llamará al menos de que pase un milagro. O puedes usar también ocurrir, but just as I'm saying that, I'm thinking, no, pasar is just, to me, use the easiest form always. So pasar is much easier to say than ocurrir. So no me llamará al menos de que pase un milagro. Puede llamarme mientras esté en el tren, pero no lo hará por caso de que o en caso de que pierda algo interesante. Me llamará en cuanto de que le llame a menudo y le digo que quiero que vuelva. Estaremos felices después de que termine el trabajo. Es difícil, lo sé, es difícil, pero bueno, vamos poco a poco. Voy a hacer algunos diferentes videos para una pausa del subjuntivo. So the next few videos I'll do will probably be a little bit different, just to break off the subjunctive for a bit, because I don't want you to get too bogged down with grammar, etc. Not everybody who's subscribed to the channel is at this point either, so I like to mix it up sometimes with some idioms or something a little bit different, and I'm going to be doing that over the next couple of videos. So I hope you found the video useful. Please give me a thumbs up, and if you are inclined, please subscribe. Remember, to subscribe is absolutely free. It doesn't cost any money. It's a bit misleading saying subscribe, but you actually don't subscribe financially. You just literally become a subscriber and you get notification of future videos. As I say, if you want to buy the book, it's on the website at $4.99. As is level 3 book if you don't have that. And bueno, nada, hope you're all safe and well, and os veo en el próximo video. Muchas gracias. Adiós.